Since the end of World War II, strategic bombers have been a cornerstone of America's nuclear triad, and few messages are louder than an aircraft flying at 50,000 feet with nuclear weapons on board. Today, we'll take a look at the deadliest U.S. bombers and explore how aircraft like the B-52 have remained relevant for over 70 years. While Boeing produced nearly 4,000 B-29 Superfortresses by late 1945, the U.S. Air Materiel Command was already drafting requirements for a next-generation bomber to replace the Convair B-36 Peacemaker. The new aircraft needed to exceed 300 miles per hour at 34,000 feet, have a 5,000-mile combat radius, carry multiple 20mm cannons, and deliver up to 10,000 pounds of bombs. Within a year, these specs evolved to 400 miles per hour speeds, a 12,000-mile range, and nuclear capability. Despite these demanding requirements, Boeing developed the B-52 Stratofortress, which first flew in spring 1952. Just 5 years later, 3 B-52s completed the first non-stop jet-powered circumnavigation of the globe in 45 hours and 19 minutes, an event known as Operation Power Flight. During the Cold War, B-52s flew continuous patrols under operations like Giant Lance, Chrome Dome, and Round Robin, ready to deliver a first or retaliatory nuclear strike near Soviet borders. As surface-to-air missile threats increased in the late 1950s, the B-52's strategy shifted to low-altitude penetration, using terrain for radar evasion and missile avoidance, sometimes flying as low as 400 feet. Beyond nuclear roles, the B-52 also serves in ocean surveillance, anti-ship, and mine operations. Two bombers can skim 140,000 square miles of ocean in just 2 hours. Constant upgrades have led to the current B-52H, capable of 650 miles per hour, an 8,800-mile combat range, and a 50,000-foot ceiling. The upcoming B-52J, expected in the early 2030s, will feature improved communications, cockpit systems, new APG-82 radar, and modern Rolls-Royce F-130 engines, extending the aircraft's service life into the 2050s. And really, did anyone believe the big ugly fat fellow would retire by the 2030s? The B-1 Lancer, nicknamed Bone, might have entered service much earlier if not for a 1977 program cancellation due to cost concerns. When Ronald Reagan took office in 1981, he revived both the B-1 program and the Advanced Technology Bomber, ATB, ordering 100 B-1s for long-range combat duties. In 1982, design changes slowed the Lancer slightly, but made it stealthier. Fixed intake ramps replaced the older variable ones, reducing radar visibility. Although its top speed at altitude dropped slightly, it could still reach Mach 1.25 at high altitudes and Mach 0.92 at low levels. The B-1B variant featured a higher max takeoff weight, 477,000 pounds compared to the B-1 is 395,000, approaching the B-52HS 488,000 pounds. Engineers reinforced critical airframe areas, while lightening others, slightly increasing the aircraft's empty weight. Although originally designed for nuclear warfare, the B-1's role shifted after the Cold War. President George H.W. Bush ordered a $3 billion conversion of the fleet to conventional roles, and by 1995, its nuclear capabilities were deactivated. Hardpoints were modified, pylons removed, and internal wiring changed to prevent nuclear payloads. This conversion process was completed in 2011. But is it truly final? Not necessarily. With rising global tensions, the U.S. might consider rearming 40 to 50 of these bombers with nuclear weapons, especially as the B-21 Raider approaches full deployment. Before we get to the Raider, though, we can't skip the B-2 Spirit, one of the most iconic stealth aircraft ever built. Developed under the secretive Advanced Technology Bomber program, beginning in 1979, the Spirit was designed for maximum radar invisibility. Codenamed Aurora during development, its flying wing design and triangular silhouette became the embodiment of stealth technology. The project was so classified that all personnel involved required top-secret clearance and underwent thorough background checks by a specialized U.S. Air Force unit. Assembly took place under tight security at Ford's facility in Pico, Rivera, California, had been completely rebuilt in secrecy. Employees were bound by confidentiality. Components were acquired through front companies, and military officials often arrived without uniforms. Staff underwent regular polygraph tests, and the program was hidden even from the U.S. Government Accountability Office and Congress until the mid-1980s. In 1988, the B-52 bomber was officially revealed at Air Force Plant 42 in Palmdale, California. Even then, the viewing was tightly controlled, with guests barred from seeing the rear of the aircraft. The program quickly drew criticism for its enormous cost. In 1996, the Government Accountability Office reported that the B-52 was the most expensive bomber to operate, 3 times the cost of the B-1B, which required $9.6 million annually for maintenance, and 4 times that of the B-52H at $6.8 million per year. By the early 2000s, each of the 21 B-2s in service cost around $3.4 million per year to maintain. Today, the average cost of a single B-2, including development, testing, and production, exceeds $4.17 billion. By 1997, every hour of B-2 flight required 119 hours of maintenance, often in climate-controlled hangars, due to the aircraft's delicate stealth coating, a technology still classified. The B-2's low observability allowed it to operate freely at high altitudes, improving both range and sensor capability. Its stealth design features smooth, curved surfaces that deflect radar waves, a technique called continuous curvature, developed through advanced computational fluid dynamics. This was first tested on Northrop's Tacit Blue experimental aircraft. Unlike other bombers, which were scaled back after the Soviet Union's collapse, the B-2 remained fully nuclear capable and even gained upgrades. It expanded its payload to carry up to 80 dams and received advanced equipment. The program was so classified that all personnel needed top-secret clearance and underwent intensive background checks led by a dedicated Air Force unit. Ford's plant in Pico Rivera played a critical role in its production. To destroy the most heavily fortified enemy bunkers, the U.S. needs cutting-edge capabilities. But the Air Force's B-2 Spirit bombers are aging. Recognizing this, the Air Force issued a request in 2014 for a new strategic bomber. In 2015, it selected Northrop Grumman, which proposed an advanced yet cost-effective stealth aircraft, the B-21 Raider. The program's total budget, $23 billion over 30 years to develop, acquire, and operate a fleet of 100 bombers, raises questions. That breaks down to over $700 million per aircraft. At a glance, the B-21 may resemble the B-2, but that similarity ends with its silhouette. When it comes to design and technology, it's a whole new generation. Stealthy flying wing design, there are few ways to reinvent the wheel. The Raider's potential, like its innovative air intakes, lies deep within the body. First of all, it will almost certainly have a higher operational ceiling than its predecessor. Operating above 50,000 feet will eliminate the possibility of the B-21 being detected by marauding enemy fighters or airborne early warning aircraft. Considering how often statements have been made that the new bomber is a completely independent unit capable of doing without enhanced logistical support, one can conclude that it has an even greater range without refueling. And the new B-21's exterior is yet another example of how decades of material science and computer-aided design have paid off for the North team. They've learned how to build and assemble even the largest composite components, eliminating the need for dozens or even hundreds of joints and seams throughout the fuselage. This, among other things, will become one of the most important factors in the matter of Raider stealthiness. After all, covering such a seamless body with a layer of secret radar-absorbing material has become even more convenient. Many will rightly note that due to the smaller dimensions, the ability to carry dozens of rounds of ammunition will suffer greatly. But tell me this, what will the enemy be more afraid of? 19 B-2 Spirits carrying 2 massive ordnance penetrators each, or 100 fresh B-21 Raiders carrying 1 such munition each. Additionally, these aircraft will operate in conjunction with American 6th-generation fighters of the Next Generation Air Dominance program, as well as swarming drones, which will ultimately multiply their nuclear argumentation in the eyes of many opponents. By the 2040s, the U.S. Air Force intends to replace 45B, 1 Lancers and 19B, 2 Spirits with new stealth bombers. So all that remains for us to do is watch with bated breath the future that has already arrived.